Welcome to the EDF Energy London Eye. Now, somewhere there, lost in the murk of the English weather behind me, is Wembley Stadium, venue, of course, for this year's Champions League final. And who's going to be playing there is right now equally murky. Two of the dark horses for a place in the big game are Borussia Dortmund and Malaga, who meet each other in the quarter-finals. Borussia, previous winners of this tournament in 1997, cruised past Shakhtar Donetsk in the last 16, making them most people's favourites to go through. But Malaga, in this their debut Champions League, are already used to pulling off surprises. Well then, Malaga, how have they got this far, Paul Macdonald, and how much further can they go?
I think Malaga's season has been a triumph over adversity, much of their own doing. Their financial problems off the pitch are well documented, and also they've had their UEFA ban for next season from European competition looming over them. And despite all of that, Pellegrini's managed to assemble a ragtag bunch of players, but he has got some Champions League experience in there in the likes of Toulalan, De Michelis, Saviola and Santa Cruz, who have taken this Malaga team perhaps further than people would have expected.
Plus Antonio Banderas waving them on from the stands.
Of course, he's been very vocal about the Malaga community getting behind the team as they go towards the end of the season.
Interesting duel in prospect between Pellegrini and Jurgen Klopp, who's very much the hot young thing of European management. Do you think he's going to stay much longer at Borussia Dortmund, and can he replicate that success elsewhere?
Yeah, it's only taken him 5 or 6 years to become this overnight success that Europe seems to think he is at the moment. At the moment with Borussia Dortmund, I think he's got a group of eager young professionals. I think other than Sebastian Kehl, nobody's over the age of 27. So I think his tenacious and in-your-face, inspirational managerial style, it holds water with those young players with a lot to prove. But whether he could do that with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid or Carlos Tevez at Manchester City, that remains to be seen. But at the moment, I think the circumstance suits Dortmund and suits Klopp, and there's no reason why they can't become a European super club just the way they are.
Pellegrini, meantime, has had success at various clubs. Great stint at Real Madrid. Villarreal took them in their first ever Champions League to the semi-finals of this competition, and now pulling off much the same kind of thing at Malaga. What's his secret? Yeah,
I think there are some parallels between the Villarreal team of 2006 and the Malaga team of this season. It's a club that had low expectancy but have exceeded all expectations, and I think he's gathered the group of players together and indeed the community of Malaga behind the team, and I think that's been fundamental. And I don't use the word lightly when I say I think Pellegrini is a genius of a coach. I think his tactical nous and his ability to galvanise a squad is unparalleled in Europe at the moment.
It's a very different kind of squad to the one that Borussia have. It's a kind of much more experienced, some very creaky looking players.
Yeah, I mean, as I said previously, there's Champions League experience in there, but they're by no manner means one of the best teams in the competition. I don't think anybody expected them to get this far.
Emily, what are people saying on Facebook and Twitter?
Hi James, yeah, we've got tweets coming into the hashtag AskGoal and questions posting on our Facebook page. There's a tweet here from Sami Love, who wants to know, will the tie come down to the two wonder kids, Itzko and Goetze? There's another tweet here from Ryan Kelly, who reckons Dortmund are real contenders, but he's asking, can they dispose of Malaga and go on to win the trophy?
What's your shout, Pete?
Two different questions there. Obviously, I think they can overcome Malaga. I think that Malaga are an inferior side to Shakhtar Donetsk, and we saw the ease with which the Borussia Dortmund managed to brush them off. Also, the domestic campaign is done and dusted at this stage. Bayern Munich are going to win the Bundesliga, possibly by a record margin, and as long as they keep in touch in the Champions League places, then they should be okay and fulfil their domestic expectations there. So provided they get a decent draw and they can avoid Barcelona maybe in the semi-final, there's no reason why they can't beat a Juventus, a Bayern, or indeed a Real Madrid like they did in the group stage and win the trophy.
And Isco and Goetze, who's your pick from those two?
I think I'd go for Isco. If I had to rely on one or the other to carry a team through a tie, I think Isco does more for Malaga than Goetze does individually for Borussia Dortmund.
Right. Well, Malaga have come into games as underdogs before. They weren't very fancied in the group stage, and they absolutely stormed their way through that. What do you think about this quarter-final clash?
Yeah, I tipped them to get past Porto in the last round, but I think this might be a step too far for them, particularly given that the second leg is in Dortmund. I just think Dortmund might have too much for them in the end. Although I would say that I agree with Peter that I think Isco is more important to Malaga than Goetze is to Dortmund, and I think it's testament to how highly he's rated in Spain and in Europe that he's in the periphery of the Spain squad, who have luminaries like Iniesta and Xavi. And I would go as far to say that I think he's one of the best players in Europe at the moment.
Well, it promises to be quite a quarter-final this. For all the latest on the Champions League, make sure you go to goal.com, and if you have any further questions, just use the hashtag AskGoal.